Hi, I'm Daz. I'm the producer of The Drift, and here's the next sort of instalment of what I've been up to since the last time I was doing one of these docs. Been a bit of a while. I keep saying that now, but it's because things are getting obviously more intense, and I'm sort of being thrown left, right, and centre. And I was a little bit unwell as well, which is all sorted, so that's all good. Back on track, which is nice. So what's happened then? Well, okay, about three things. The story of the film, the plot itself is pretty much sewn up now. It'll always be changed. It'll be changed right to the very end, as in even right down to the editing side of things. So we'll write down the ideas of what we're going to do, get down to the script, look at the characters, that kind of stuff, and then obviously film it. And then even then in post-production, we'll look at things and see, did it actually work? Is there a better way we could do it and stuff like that? So although it's still an evolving process, the journey itself of the film is now complete, which is good because that gives us a lot more direction or firm direction as to where we need to take the project next and what needs to be done. The other thing that I've been working on is that sort of quantifying of all the tasks, which I mentioned before, with those lists, getting right down to it now. Over there, I've got like probably don't see it or not. Up there's a list. Those are pictures of all the things that need to be built. I'll get you one. So, for example, this is a picture of a computer monitor that's going to be in one of the walls, and all the bits that go in it, and then sort of how it fits. So it goes along a flat wall with all this support behind it and that kind of stuff. And that's now ready for the set builders to actually work on. So I'll be doing quite a few of those, and more of those to come as well, and that's all come from the list, which is really good. The idea there is when people start asking for, what we're going to do and all the rest of it, and what's not what needs to be done, then they can look at it. So I can give them a list of those things. So that's really good. Deliverance behind. It's really cracking on inside there now. We've got R2 Phil, who is working all the bits and bobs inside. We've decided on what's going to be where inside the ship, and now it's just question of building those things. And then this weekend we're going to be painting it, and that's really important because although you paint the skin, as it were, so it doesn't look like wood, and then you cover it as much stuff as possible, so arguably you don't see any of the paint. However, your eye will pick up what's behind those objects, and that's why it's important to get that done first, because if we start building too much stuff on top of that surface, it makes it very difficult to paint. So, and that's been quite difficult in terms of deciding what colour do you paint a spaceship. Because grey seems to be the only colour in space, which is a bit weird, or black or white or grey. So not really colours at all. So we tried to do some other colours. So we're going to go for this sort of ex-military ship that it was. It was meant to be a sort of a drop ship, transport ship for troops and a vehicle. We're going to go for like a dark green, or sort of lighter olive green at the back, which is where the cargo is. And then the idea is that the crew themselves will paint the front. So that would be like a lighter, sort of sandy, chocolatey almost colour. I mean, chocolate is a bit of a strong word. It's not that dark, but not just normal brown. So anyway, the idea is that it looks a lot more sort of domestic at the front end rather than at the back end. So. And the pipes and the tubes all reflect that as well, so that's really nice. So we'll be looking at that, ready for this weekend. Characters is another thing we've been looking at a lot this week, sort of finalising the sort of character profiles of the main characters. And there's quite a few of them. There's about 10 characters in total. So looking to now develop them further in the script itself. And now that's been finalised, we can look at costumes a bit more, which has already started. Boris and the team are working on that. But it means now that we can get right down to sort of nitty-gritty of the accessories and all the little bits that make it more real. So we've got, again, it's like the layers. We have the layers of the flight suits and the jackets, all that kind of stuff. But what makes it personal? What makes it real? What makes it credible that they've been in space many times before or not? And that would determine the sort of kit they bring with them. So like when I do my job, I know what kit I need to take with me. When I go filming, I always know what bits I need. When I first started out filming, I didn't know, and I had less kit or the wrong sort of kit, and that needs to be reflected in these guys. So now we've got the character profiles and a bit of script and what have you. We can get people to start thinking about what they would wear, how they would wear it, and that kind of stuff. So we're working on that too, which is really, really good. And what else? Oh yes, that was it. Yeah, been working on sort of on the producer side of stuff now. Is the health and safety, which is for many people seem to think, oh my god, health and safety is so difficult, and all the rest of it. And it is a really important part of the production because, if nothing else, if you want to have your public liability insurance and all your indemnities and all that kind of stuff to make sure that what you're doing is you're covered if the worst came to the worst, then you need to do a risk assessment. And we've actually been doing risk assessments for quite a few years with all our projects, and it's not difficult. I mean, in a nutshell, it's about identifying all the things on your set that could hurt somebody. And once you've identified them, you then need to sort of say, okay, well, now I know what all those things are that could hurt someone. What have I done to maximise the safety, to stop that risk from happening? So, for example, cables being the big one on a film set. Cables is a really big deal. You obviously need them to power all your kit, and when you're shooting properly, then they need to reach the thing you're trying to film. So, of course, you have cables on the floor. So what do you do about it? Well, okay, as an example then, well, first of all, you tell everyone that there's cables everywhere. Second thing is you indicate where the cables are. So sometimes with long cables, every now and again we put little bits of tape on so you can see it. Well, because often cables are black. So just put bits of yellow on it every now and again, or just a big strip of it so people can see. Another one is to put a rubber mat over it, which is indicated. So it's not black mat you can't see, it's a mat you can see, indicating a trip hazard. Minimise the number of people that you need on set for that particular shot. Clear away your cables as soon as you finish doing that day of filming. Allocate someone responsible who will make sure the cables are clear, that kind of stuff. That doesn't mean that's their only job, it just means someone knows that their job is to make sure the cables are cleared. It's all those sorts of things, and once you've identified all those things, you can pretty much put cables where you like. I mean, you can put them at head height, whatever you want, as long as you indicate, put all the things, tell the people the risks, make sure people know, allow them to make the decisions to whether they want to proceed in that area or not. So that's as trip hazards on cables. Now multiply that by all the other things, and that's your risk assessment. So it sounds like a really big job, and it sounds like something that's going to shut you down, and actually it's not a big job, nothing compared to the rest of the film. It isn't going to shut you down if you play safe. And at the end of the day, you want everyone to be safe and to have a good time, and you want to be able to come back to where it is you're filming. Obviously, you don't want to kill anybody or hurt anybody. You don't want to ruin your whole production, not just from potentially shutting it down, but just the fact that someone really hurt themselves on the set, and that's kind of dampened the mood, and people aren't doing as well, and everything else. So there's loads of reasons, notwithstanding the legal issues of health and safety, that you need to do. So don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say it's the best thing in the world. It's one more thing you've got to sort out, but at the same time, it's with the best of intentions. And it's only what you read in the papers and you see on the telly about health and safety gone mad, all that kind of stuff. Well, that's why they're in the papers, because it's the wrong example of health and safety and all that kind of stuff. So that's a really big deal, and I think it's fine. And we've got a template when we were filming our Cinderella film at Pinewood Studios. We had to do a health and safety for them, and it gave us a super duper questionnaire type thing that we had to fill in and go through all the risks, etc., etc., etc. Sent one off to the landowner, which is Pinewood. We'll have to do the same for this place. Sent one off to our insurance company to prove we've done a risk assessment. And then we brief everybody about it. We can sign it off. They all get a copy of the health and safety assessment, etc., and we go from there. And that was it. And actually makes you feel a little bit better when you've done it, especially when you watch these things on telly about how health and safety's gone wrong, like you can't play conkers or you can't do running games in the playground. These are people who clearly don't understand health and safety, and we do, so it's a good thing. So yeah, we're doing some of that today, and also we're going to get a fire officer to come next week and check out our setup as well to make sure it's safe, and that's something I always recommend people should do. Get local fire brigade or whatever to come over, community fireman or something like that, to come have a look and just make sure there aren't any obvious, to him or her, obvious fire issues, like keeping all your materials separate, making sure your fire exits are clear, make sure everyone knows the fire exits are, all that kind of stuff. So one plug, one socket rule, make sure your kit's tested, make sure it's all safe. I mean, if it does blow up, I suppose, then you'd be there on set to be able to shut it down anyway. So don't leave stuff switched on overnight, that kind of bits and bobs. So, it's that sort of stuff. It's all good. So yeah, definitely moving into the next phase now with the production. Definitely more a case of filling in all the blanks now. I've got my list of stuff that we need to do. I've got my characters sort of sorted out. Script writing, Sue's working night and day, I'm sure, on the script, ready for us to have a look at in the end of the year. So that's it really. It's all good. Moving forward quite nicely.